Salut Year 9 et bienvenue au corps pour aujourd'hui. Right Year 9, we've got a massive lesson today. We're going to be doing a listening assessment. Now, it's not the one that we usually do at this stage because I want to do that when you're back in school. Because as you go through like the years, year 10 and 11, when you get your assessment scores, I need to work out what grade you're going to get in year 11. So what I do is I compare you to all the other people who've done before you and what you get on like the module 1 exam. I can say, well, like this many people got that mark and they got an 8, therefore I reckon they'll get an 8. It just helps to track us. So I want to do that back at school. So today I've made a new exam paper. How have I done it? I've gone on old GCSE papers and I've selected appropriate activities, which means that the exam today is actually a bit more challenging than what you'll do when we do the proper one for module 1 when we're back at school. But I mean, that's the way it is, and it will be good for you to be challenged. Remember, this assessment doesn't count, and it's just a way to give you an idea of what this listening assessment's like and where you need to be in 9 in 2 years' time. So think of that. And in a way, this is the perfect way to do it because you're in control of the recording today. You can pause it, you can listen to things, you can get the most out of it because today doesn't count. It's all down to you and what you can do. So that's what we're going to do. I'm testing you on absolutely everything we've looked at in module 1, and it's a lot of French. It's going to be a tough lesson today, but I'm going to really enjoy it. Let's see what you can do. Alors, donc, on va commencer comme toujours. S'il vous plaît, il faut inventer le date pour moi, s'il vous plaît. Voilà. Et copier le titre dans vos cahiers bleus, si vous utilisez encore vos cahiers bleus. Et vous avez le contrôle de post-it ici. Comment dire les 6 choses clés ici en français. This is all a little bit of prep for your writing exam. It's a lot tougher today. No letters to help you. Put me on pause now. Have a go at the contrôle de post-it et copier les dates et les titres. And when you've done that, restart me and I'll tell you a bit more about the lesson and I'll go through our post-it note challenge. Allez, on y va! Alors mes petits, right guys, if you're listening to me now, you're ready to start. Let's go through our control de post-it answers. Now all of this you'll need to know for the writing assessment, which I'll talk about at the end of this lesson. We'll talk about the homework and how you can prepare for that and to help your year 11 revision as well. Donc, on y va mes petits. Someone who is quelqu'un qui, love that. It's usually followed by a, quelqu'un qui est, someone who is. I get on with is, je m'entends bien avec. I get angry with, now this comes up today in the listening, which is why I added this word, is je me fâche contre. The examiner will love this. They'll be impressed. Je m'entends bien avec, je ne m'entends pas avec, but je me fâche contre, even better. Why'd you get angry with them as well? Develop your ideas. A beautiful piece of vocab. This is coming up today, so if you didn't know fâche ou fâché means angered or angry, you need to know it now. Alors, numéro 4. Once upon a time, the French say il y avait une fois, and that can also translate to like this one time or whatever. Once upon a time, il y avait une fois. All of this is in the imperfect. When I was younger, quand j'étais plus jeune, you say when I was more young. If you weren't sure about younger, use a synonym. Quand j'étais petit, when I was small. Some of us are still small, but still, you know what I mean. And then finally, this one, number 6, it looks really hard to translate. I didn't used to like, and I see like really good students who go on to get like 8s and 9 in GCSE, when they come to translate a phrase like this, they mess it up. So they say, right, the verb to do is faire, and it's in the, you don't need any of that. What's I used to like? J'aimais. So what's I didn't used to like? Je n'aimais pas. And it's that simple. Remember, you don't say did or didn't or do or don't in French. You just say I used to like not. Je n'aimais pas. Je n'aimais pas faire. I didn't used to like to do. Simple. Guys, well done if you got number 6. If you got it wrong, absolutely no shame in that. And 5 and 4 would have as well. You should know 1 and 2 definitely. So, bon effort. These are 6 phrases for your writing exam, but today it's all about the listening assessment. Listen to the noisy kids. I'm going to shout at them, make them cry. I'll do that in a second. But first, let's get your starter going. I just want to do a bit of a revision of your vocabulary to make sure you're prepared and make sure you're ready for this, and to talk to you about some tricks and to put some extra language to you. Donc, je vais expliquer les premières activités en français. Alors mes petits, look at your handout for today. This is our first activity. Qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire? Je vais expliquer en français. Donc, dans la boîte bleue, vous avez le début d'une phrase. Voilà, c'est le début ici. Et dans la boîte orange, vous avez les fins des phrases. Il faut trouver la paire entre le début et la fin. Donc ici, il dit physiquement, je suis, qui veut dire en anglais physically I am. So I'm looking for a physical description. Physiquement, je suis un beau-père? Non. Physiquement, je suis sortir? Non. Physiquement, ah voilà, physiquement, je suis assez petit. Je mesure 170 cm. Sounds like average height to me. Et voilà, trouvez la paire entre le début et la fin de la phrase. Après utiliser une phrase, effacez-le pour vous aider. Et il y a un défi additionnel aujourd'hui. Il parle des mots en bleu ici. Donc, pour tu, les mots en bleu ou les phrases en bleu, qu'est-ce que c'est en anglais? Traduisez tous les mots en bleu pour moi, s'il vous plaît. Alors, je vais vous donner 4 minutes pour faire cette activité. Put a little timer on your phone for 4 minutes. See how many you can match up. Don't forget our extra challenge. Today, c'est un peu plus difficile. Donc, 4, ça va. 4, c'est le cible. 6, ce sera très bien. 8 sur 8 sera formidable. Mes petits, put me on pause. Give yourself 4 minutes. Bon courage, mes petits. On y va. Hello, mes petits. If you listen to me now, you've had your 4 minutes and you're ready for our answers. A lot tougher this task. There's some really nice vocab I've not taught you. This is good for you. Let's see what we've got. Alors, le premier, j'ai déjà fait numéro 1 pour vous. Donc, physiquement, je suis, means physically I am. Donc, c'est en description, c'est des assez petit. Je mesure 170 cm. Qu'est-ce que c'est en anglais? 60-10 centimeters. Remember, this is how you say 70. You say 60-10. So to say like 78, 78, you'd say 60-18. Crazy, isn't it? Voilà. Alors, numéro 2. J'ai une famille recomposée. Donc, j'ai. Now, this is one of our extra challenge words. Qu'est-ce que c'est une famille recomposée? Recomposed means like put back together. So it means what I'd call in English a blended family. Like if, say, like your dad's divorced your mom and then he's got like a new partner and kids and she's got a new partner and kids. That's what you call it. Yeah, a blended family, I think we'd say. Donc, j'ai une famille recomposée. Donc, j'ai un beau-père et 2 belles-sœurs. A stepdad and 2 stepsisters. Voilà. Numéro 3. Mon meilleur ami est quelqu'un. My best friend is someone, what comes after that? Quelqu'un qui est toujours honnête et fidèle. So my best friend is someone who is always honest and loyal. If you put that in your writing, I'd need an example. Tell me when they've been honest or loyal to you. They've told you look really horrible in what you're wearing, for example. But they do that a lot. Alors, numéro 4, je dirais que j'ai de mauvais rapports. Now, the exam's going to do this today, so you need to know what it is. We've learned je m'entends bien avec, je ne m'entends pas bien avec, and this is just a synonym for that. Mauvais rapport, mauvais on its own means bad. Rapport is like relations. So I'd say I've got a bad relationship avec ma mère, sortie récemment. With my mom, especially recently. And again, if you put that in your writing exam, and it's a lovely phrase to put in your writing exam, I'd need an example of that. Alors, numéro 5. Nous nous disputons souvent car. So this always looks weird, the new and the new together. It's not a mistake. It means we argue together. We argue between us often as. What's the reason for arguing? Car c'est j'ai. Elle est trop stricte et je n'ai pas assez de liberté. She is too strict and I don't have enough freedom. I'm going to talk about the word assez. I've used it twice here in different texts. We'll come back to this word when we do the extra challenge. And 3 to go, 5 down. This is a lot tougher today. Remember, 4 is our target, you know. Numéro 6. Tu, mes amis, ont le droit de. Okay, a new bit of vocab. All my friends have the right to or allowed to. CB. Sortir jusqu'à 22h, mais pas moi. So it says all my friends are allowed to go out. That word jusqu'à, one of my favorite words. Doesn't it sound nice in your mouth? Jusqu'à 22h. So until 10 o'clock, but not me. Alright, 2 left. J'avais de meilleurs rapports avec elle. What tense is this in? What does j'avais mean then? I used to have, or I was having, better relationship with her quand j'étais un enfant, when I was a kid. So I used to have a better relationship with her when I was a kid. And that means our last one, on se dispute, mais je l'admire. C'est beaucoup, car elle a surmonté les difficultés. So we argue, but I admire her a lot because she's overcome difficulties, probably having you as a child. Right, guys, so these are our matches today. If you got more than 4 half marks, I'm really happy. If you didn't, like, don't worry. The whole idea of all this independent learning is how you work and what you learn. It's not about getting full marks all the time, Claudia. It's about what you learn and where you go for it. So let's have a go for our extra challenge. Une famille recomposée is what I'd say a blended family. It's when you've got like stepmom, stepdad, step siblings. Jusqu'à means until. Mauvais rapport is bad relationships. Fidèle is loyal. Remember, Fido, I think, is a Latin, and that's what I used to call dogs. Elle a surmonté, she has overcome. Meilleur rapport is better relationships. And then, all right, assez, we said it's here. Assez means quite, and that's what I've got in D. So I am quite tall, I'd say, assez. But when you've got de after it, it means enough. So assez without the de means quite. Assez with the de means enough. So I don't have enough freedom. I am quite tall, is what I'd say. Voilà, donc, there we go. Well done if you got our extra challenge. This is an example of the vocab coming today. It's in front of you though, and you can read it and you can think about it and you can look at the words and work out what some of them mean. You don't have that luxury in the listening, which is why it's tough. However, you're going to do absolutely fine in this listening today because you know our targets and our tactics to do well. Now, I banged on about this all last lesson. They're so important to get the most out of the question paper, to work out the gist and keywords, to not give up, to gun to your head, what would you pick? Let me show you how important it is to fight for every single mark. Look at the next slide. Now, these are our grade boundaries. 2 years have sat this exam. Remember, this year, 2020, don't have them, so there'll be no update to the grade boundaries. And this is what I've got. So higher foundation, I've got them both here. This, and the reason I'm showing you this, right, is because you can see how many marks you can drop and still get a top mark. So today, we're all doing higher tier. Now, if you look on the 28 grade boundary and the 2019 grade boundary, exactly the same. 41% gets you a 5. Now, 4 is a GCSE grade C. You only need 33% or 31% to get that. That means in the previous years of this exam, a student could have only picked up 1/3 of the marks. So for every 3 marks, they only get 1 and they still come away with a GCSE grade C. So yes, the exam is really difficult today and you might think, oh God, I don't know the answer, but they expect you to drop a lot of marks. And that's shown up here with this. To get an 8, yeah, which is a brilliant grade, you can still drop 3 marks every 10. That is insane. That's 1.5 marks per 5. So per question, you can drop 1.5 marks. Think of that. Even to get a 7, 61%. And back then it was 57. It's gone up. Think how low that is. Now, the reason it's low is because the exam's a challenge. And a lot of the time you won't know the answers. And that's where the survival techniques come in. And that's why having a guess and saying, oh, I think it's this, is so worthwhile, because every single mark counts, particularly as the grade boundaries are so low. So fight for every mark today, guys. Today isn't like an official exam. It's not long enough, and we're not going to give you a grade for it, but you can work out your grade at the end, work out your percentage, and then you can find out whereabouts you are. So that's what we're doing today. This is a mix of those 2 papers that you've just looked at the grade boundaries for, and some mocks as well. You're going to be tested at the GCSE level today. So use that mark scheme, fight for every mark, and enjoy it. Year 9. This is probably the last time you're going to do an assessment that isn't like assessed and marked and talked about. This is for you to test your learning on module 1, which we never get the chance to do at Glenthorne. So this is going to be good for you. See what you can do. Excuse me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk through each question and I'm going to explain what you need to do. We're going to do them all together, not one at a time. And then I want you to go away listen to the files which I've uploaded on Frog, do this activity, and then you'll come back to the video and we'll do transcript and answers like we would in class. Alors, donc, je vais expliquer tu les activités et tu les questions. Et voilà, question 1, il parle du famille. Now, read everything. Remember, get the most out of the question when you're doing your prep time. Read through this. Your exchange partner's telling you about her sister, Rosaline. What does she say? How old is she? Okay, so think about a trap. She might say, I'm 16, but my sister Rosaline is 19. So be careful with that. Give one reason why she likes her. So there's obviously more than one reason. Or she might try and trap you and say she's not this or she's not that. What do they have in common? So she might say we have the same tastes or we both like football or something. So listen out for that. And then what do they argue about? So they might not use the verb dispute. They might use chamaille, on se chamaille, we like bicker about. Those are the things to be careful of. Don't prepare this question yet. I'll give you time after I've explained all the activities. Et voilà, activité 2, everybody's favorite. When you've got your prep time, this is the one to spend your time on. Remember how this works. You're going to listen to Samir talking about his family. You need to read all these sentences really carefully, and then you need to match up what could potentially go in there from our box of keywords. So let's look at the first one. Dans sa famille, ils se disputent. Which is in their family, they argue. They argue what? That's one possibility. They argue often, or they argue rarely. That's it. See what I've done? I shouldn't have really done that. I've given you a bit of help. That's what you need to do for each question. Son père le plus. Samir s'entend le mieux avec. See what you can match to. This is really hard. This is from the higher tier. So again, remember that mark scheme. This might be one where you get 1 out of 5, but that'll be enough for a grade 5. So think about that. Remember, every question here has been a real GCSE for a year 11 in the past. Et voilà, the next one. Again, this is a really tough question. You have heard these before. Khalil is talking about his friends. What you need to do is put one of these words next to each person. But he's not going to say, mon ami Didier est trop bavard. Mehdi n'est pas confiant. Jean-Louis est généreux. They're not going to say these words. They're going to describe their personality. So if Didier is confident, he's going to say like, oh, I don't know, he chats up all the girls or anything like that. You need to listen to it. And from what you think you hear, from the gist, you need to decide one of these 4 adjectives for each person. Be careful. There's a trap in here. Just so tempting to tell you, look at B and look at E. That's all I'm saying. Watch out for this trap. Alors, numéro 4. Again, this is actually my hero when I was growing up. Absolutely loved this player. He was playing football when I was like a kid. Zinedine Zidane, a current manager of Real Madrid. Fantastic player. You're going to listen to him, and all you need to do is answer these 4 questions. Okay, so you might have an idea of already, but be careful. Only put what the recording says. For example, D, what exactly does he do now? If you write manages Real Madrid, it's not the answer. So you've got to listen and get it from the text. Et finalement, right, this is going to be a tough one. You've got an interview with Validia, I'm not sure how to say his name, a French comedian, don't know him. It's really hard to understand comedy in a different language. Don't know why, I just really don't get French comics. What they think is funny, I don't, it's very personal. Anyway, you're going to listen to this person. You need to answer these questions in English. Read through it carefully. Make sure you know what it's asking you. This is one where it's all about the context and working out what he says. This is going to be really tough. Fight for every mark you know. Alors mes petits, I've explained everything. I've gone through the questions. You now have 5 minutes preparation time. So in that 5 minutes, go through your exam paper. Read all the questions to get them in your head. Get your highlighters out for that gap fill activity. Make sure you're prepared. Set a timer on your phone for 5 minutes, and when it goes off, you need to go for it. You've got all the recordings on Frog. Now, if you want to do it like the real exam, you listen to it twice and you just give your answers and be honest with yourself. If you want to listen to it 5 times to make sure you've got the answers right, that's absolutely fine today. This is what independence is about. You have to test yourself. You have to learn as much as you can. Whichever way you want to do it, you're listening to French and you're practicing, you're doing past exam questions, so it's fine with me. You need to find out what works for you. So you can listen to it 10 times and get the answers, or you can be really disciplined and listen to it twice and say, no, I want to do what the Year 11s did. Completely down to you today, Year 9. When you restart the video, I'll show you the transcript and we'll go through all the answers to see what you've got. Alors, right, bon courage mes petits. See you on the other side. Bon courage. Allez, on y va. Alors mes petits, if you're listening to me now, you are finished. Well done. Bon effort. Let's go through the answers. Mark your own work today. Remember, sadly for you, this won't count, but it's just a great activity for you to do. We'll do what we normally do on class. I'm going to give you the transcript, I'll give you time to look through it, and then we'll go through the answers and why. So here's our first one. Put me on pause, have a quick read through. The format's a bit different, it's not in blue and text this time. So have a little look through this bit, have a little read through, see what you think, and then when you're ready for the answers, restart me. Hello mes petits, right guys, let's see what we've got. So this was a foundation question to get you going, but you can still lose marks so easily on this. So let's go for it. How old is sa sister? Ma sœur Roseline a 19 ans. 19, you need to know your numbers. She's 19, which is a lot easier when you can see the transcript. Give one reason why she likes her. She actually gives two. Je l'aime bien. I like her a lot, or I her like a lot. Elle est très généreuse et elle me comprend. So you can have either she's generous or she understands me. If you put understanding, I think the examiner would just about give you the mark. C. What do they have in common? On aime la même musique. We like the same music. So they've got music in common, and she says we are fans of classical music. Pretentious. Et finalement, what do they argue about? On se dispute quelquefois à cause de nos portables. Portable is your phone. They argue about their phones. If you just put phone, you get the mark. Guys, give yourself a mark out of 4. Tick them up. Remember, every mark matters. Mark out of 4 for this, and then let's move on to the next one. On y va. Alors mes petits, question 2. Now this was a nasty one. You know what to do. Put me on pause. First thing, check my highlighting compared to your highlighting. See what I've got compared to you. See the good news or bad news. Then read through the transcript. Check your answers. When you think you're ready, hit play again, and I'll go through the answers and show you whereabouts it is. Bon courage. Pause me now. On y va. Alors mes petits, right guys, pause me again. Have a little look through what I've highlighted for A, B, C, D, and E. Have a little look through. When you're ready for the answers, restart me and we'll go for it. Alors mes petits, right guys, let's have a little look. So, starts down here. Dans sa famille, ils se disputent. In their family, they argue. So your two possibilities are they either argue often or rarely. Now this looks really straightforward because it says often here. However, this is what they do in GCSEs. Il y a des disputes, mais pas souvent. What does pas mean? Je n'aime pas, je ne joue pas, not. So it says there are arguments, but not often. So if you don't do something often, you do it rarely. Rarement is the answer. Do you see what they've done there? They've tried to trick you with the word souvent, but because of the pas, it's negative and you've got to work it out. If you put souvent, don't worry about it. You've learned a valuable lesson about the tricky people who write your GCSEs. If you got rarement, bravo, chapeau, hein? Right, let's have a look at the next one. Son frère est le plus. Now look out for tricks here. J'ai 3 ans de plus que mon frère. Il est gâté. Love this word. It means spoiled. Et égoïste and selfish. So if he's spoiled and selfish, he isn't generous. It doesn't mention he's strict. So I've got strict or young. Have a look again. J'ai 3 ans de plus. Plus means more. So I have 3 years more than my brother, which means I'm 3 years older than my brother. Therefore, his brother is younger. Le plus jeune, the youngest. Voilà, right guys, well done if you got that. C. Samy s'entend le mieux avec. Did you know what le mieux meant? It means the best. So who does he get on best with? Obviously not his brother. He calls him spoiled and selfish. What does he say about his mom? Ma mère est sévère, mais mon père me comprend. His mom is strict, but his dad understands him, so he gets on best with his dad. Well done if you got that. Then, what's his dad like? It doesn't say strict, generous, or young. Well, young's already gone, so it's between generous and strict. He says, plus il me donne de l'argent quand je sors. What is l'argent? It is money. It also is the word for silver. And remember, in chemistry, I can't write with this, Ag is the chemical symbol for silver. Au is gold, if that's what you're thinking, getting confused. Argent is silver, right? Where was I? So, furthermore, he gives me money when I go out. So if he gives you money, he is généreux. Voilà. Et finalement, another trick here. I know loads of you will have got this wrong because he says two answers, doesn't he? The choice for E is they either go cinema or they go restaurant. So have a little look. Le dimanche après-midi, on mange un grand repas, puis on sort ensemble pour voir un film. It says on Sunday afternoon, we eat a big meal, then we go out together to see a film. So they eat a big meal, but we can assume that's at home because they don't say we go to a restaurant. He says here we go out together to see a film, so they go cinéma. Voila. Now this is a horrible one. Remember, I'll be happy with 1 out of 5, but if you've got any more than that, I think you've done really, really well. Mark up what you've got. Bon effort. Right, love these listenings today. Now this was on the first year 11's exams. I remember looking at this. So 2017 or 2018. This is a really tough question. Well done if you got more than one. The fun don't stop there. Let's have a look at our next question. Et voilà mes petits, you know how this works. Put me on pause, read through this text, see and check your answers, and then restart me when you think you're ready for our answers. Allez! Et voilà, right guys, now I've highlighted the key parts of this text and I've just put in red where 2 tricks are. Unlucky. Right, so let's have a little look. Did you spot the tricks over here first? Mehdi n'est pas et Jamel n'est pas toujours. So Mehdi isn't and Jamel isn't always. These are 2 little traps. Hopefully you highlighted them, underlined them, you knew they would come in. Let's work through our example then. Didier est trop. Didier is, I love this word, it means tu. So, Didier aime sortir. Il a toujours beaucoup d'argent. Lui, this doesn't mean lui, this means him or he. Il n'arrête pas de parler, même en classe. So, there's a lot of French you don't understand here, but hopefully you know the verb parler. And sometimes, remember, listen out for the gist. It's just one word that can help you out. So, arrête is stop. So he doesn't stop speaking even in class. So if he doesn't stop speaking in class, he's too chatty. Bavard is what you need. Excellent if you worked out that one. Numéro 2. Mehdi n'est pas. So what isn't he? Mehdi, j'aime bien Mehdi. I like Mehdi, mais il se fâche facilement par des riens. Again, it's all about the keywords. What is fâche? We looked at this, je me fâche contre, it was on our poster no starter, it means get angry. So I like Mehdi, but he gets angry easily. What does rien mean? Nothing. So par des rien is for nothing or over nothing. He gets angry over nothing. If you get angry over nothing, you're not patient. Yeah, because you get frustrated really quick. Just see what they've done. See how hard these questions are? Think back to the mark scheme I showed you, and I was showing you needed like less than 50%, and I bet you were thinking, oh, this will be easy. Well, now you know why, because it's so tough. Alright, Jean-Luc est très rigolo, and then he says, mais pas très généreux. So they've said the word généreux here to try and trick you, but he's not generous. So you can cross that one out for Jean-Luc. Have a look at the rest. It says he's funny, but funny don't come up here, but see what you think. Il est sûr de lui, ce qui est bien pour impressionner les filles. Now this is so tough. He is sure of himself. Have you heard that expression? He's very sure of himself. That is good for impressionner les filles is to like make a good impression on girls or to like chat up girls. So he's sure of himself, which is good for talking to girls. So he is confident, confiant. Voilà, see how we did that. Alors, Solomon, this one was the toughest. Solomon me paye des sorties assez régulièrement. It's so tough. It's all about this verb here. Pay. Payer is, what a lovely colour that is. Payer is to pay. So Solomon pays when I go out quite regularly. Therefore, he is généreux, or sucker. Et finalement, Jamel n'est pas toujours. So Jamel is in my class. We speak every day, but in front of others, he's very shy. So again, the last word of a listening is always key. So if he's shy, he's not always confident. Confiant is what you need. Right, guys, remember, I'm happy with 1 out of 5 for all these activities. Give yourself a mark. Give yourself a mark for how many you've done. If you've got more than one, you've done really well. Remember, these are all former GCSE tasks. Let's have a look at the next one. Alors mes petits, here's our next one then. Now question 4 is tough because they always do this. It's slightly different to what you will have studied. No part of the GCSE says year 11 must know all about Zinedine Zidane. I mean, you should know about Zinedine Zidane, but still they put something left field in to test your French. So put me on pause, have a read through. When you're happy with your answers or unhappy but you're resigned to defeat, restart the video and I'll go through the proper answers. Allez. Alors mes petits, so let's see what we've got. First off, which country does the family come from? Zinedine Zizou, that's what they called him, it's like his nickname, est né à Marseille. Was born in Marseille and he's a really big character in Marseille. You can go to the place he's born, which is a pretty tough part of Marseille to be honest. Mais sa famille vient de Algérie. Zinedine Zidane is Algerian, or at least his heritage is Algerian. Berber, so you've got like Arabic people in Algeria and Berbers, which are like a race of North Africa, separate sort of race. They speak a different language. Alors, what happened when he was 16? So, il a fait ses débuts comme joueur de foot professionnel à l'âge de 16 ans. So, he made his debut, which means it was his first match, his first start, and he started playing for Cannes in the south of France. He never played for Marseille despite coming from there. When did he start playing? You had to know your years. Depuis 2006. 2006. Il ne joue plus. He no longer plays. And then what exactly does he do now? Manager Real Madrid? No marks. Maintenant, il se consacre à aider les jeunes dans les quartiers les plus pauvres, which means helping young people in poor areas. If you just put helping young people, you get the mark. Helping people, no marks. You've got to get the right one. Right, guys, 4 potential marks for that. Et finalement, mes petits. Now, it's come out weird because it's the only way I could get the transcript from EdXL. It looks like this. So here's your transcript. Have a little read through. I'll make it big actually. I'll put it on a new slide and then see how you've answered it. All right, put me on pause, read it through. When you think you're done, restart the recording and I'll go through our final answers. Alors mes petits, right guys, let's see what we've got this interview. So what does he remember about his childhood in Grenoble? So Grenoble's in the mountains of France. It's like in the Alps. It is south, but it's not on the right of the south coast. It's like central south, close to Italy. Beautiful place to visit. Anyway, what does he remember about his childhood? So here it says, quel souvenir gardez-vous? How beautiful is French? Souvenir. We use this word when we go on holiday. You buy something. Do you want to buy a holiday souvenir? And a souvenir is something that helps you remember your holiday, and it comes from the French verb souvenir, which means to remember. So quel souvenir is what memories. Gardez-vous. Garder is to look after or protect something. So what memories do you hold of your childhood in Grenoble, or do you look after? Isn't that beautiful? So that's the first question. What does he remember? There's 2 things. Parfois, il y avait beaucoup de neige, neige, et il devient impossible pour mes amis et moi d'aller à l'école, which means there was lots of snow sometimes and he couldn't get to school. So those are the 2 things he remembers. He remembers the snow and snow days from school. B, What made him decide to become a comedian and not a dancer? Now, this is really tough. Question 2 says, comment avez-vous su que vous alliez devenir humoriste? How did you know that you were going to become a comedian? He says, quand j'étais ado, when I was a teenager. Ado is short for adolescent. When I was a teenager, I started with dance, but what I preferred was making others laugh. And at 16, I understood that I wanted, above all, to make other people laugh rather than dancing. So, what made him decide to become a comedian? He preferred making people laugh. He preferred being funny. That is all you need to get the mark. If you know more, how did his parents react? 2 details. So, he says, my mum always had confidence in me, or she always supported me. My dad, it was something else. He comes from Senegal and he wanted everything for me to go to university in France. He wanted the same, or he did everything he could to go to university in France. He wanted the same thing for me. So 2 details. His mom supported him. His dad wanted him to go to uni. Guys, this is really tough. Mark it up, give yourself a grand total. And then get your calculators out, work out what sort of percentage you've got. Now, obviously, like a GCSE exam's a lot longer and you've got different types of questions. But I mean, for year 9, this is really advanced. You've done 5 questions from real GCSE papers, which is great. So work out about what grade you've got and see what you can do. If you've got a really, really high grade, well done. But I will just say, you don't actually have that grade yet. You've got to do the real exam to earn it. But hopefully this has filled you a bit of confidence and you can see how well you could potentially do. You've got 2 years to get to this level. If you've had an absolute disaster today and you're looking like at a grade 1 or below, don't worry, you've got 2 years to get to this level to practice. Right guys, bon effort aujourd'hui. Final thing to do, just a reminder about your homework. You will be doing the writing assessment and sending it to me. My class, I've sent you an email with your link to this booklet. You have to fill all this out to prepare. I will be checking when I mark your writing assessments that this is complete, and it says everything you need to do on there. And I said it last lesson anyway, get on this revision for me guys, or we're in lockdown. Alright guys, hope you're all safe and well. See you next lesson. Merci, au revoir.